All right, y'all, we are back and we are working on the 5.3 LS swap for my 1981 Caprice Classic. This video, I am going to be removing the harmonic balancer using a harmonic balancer puller that I got from Amazon. These have mixed reviews with the little hooks there bending as you try to pull the harmonic balancer off. First, we need to remove the harmonic balancer pulley bolt, which is going to be a 24 millimeter. So go ahead and get your big boy out and let's get it broken off. Hopefully it comes off without a whole lot of fuss. Yeah, let me throw a fresh battery on. Okay, there we go. Round two. So I bought the OEM Tools one and the OMT. I think this one was 30. This one was like 60. So since I have the OEM Tools one, and I mean, these look to be exactly the same, and I'll have links in the description below for both of them. You can choose one you would like. I want to just go ahead and go for the longest rod that comes with the kit. It comes with 4 different lengths, and everybody says just go with the longest rod. You're going to take the bolt, you are going to screw it in. The bolt has a hole in the middle, and the rod just goes in that hole. And the arms are going to go around these raised Sonic the Hedgehog looking parts of the harmonic balancer. All right, so get it hooked on to those 3 Sonic the Hedgehog looking joints. Tension it up. And we're gonna see if this works. All right, just like that, the baby's out. The baby is out. Spend the money, get the 3 jaw puller, and leave that Amazon cast on crap alone. Okay, so now let's get the front cover pulled off. Yeah. Unless the timing chain gear has some wear on it, I'm gonna leave that alone. So I'm gonna do the oil pump, the front seal, and that's probably it. I'll probably leave everything else alone. This chain actually seems tighter than other videos. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that alone. On the Gen 3, it doesn't have provisions for the tensioner, but the teeth and everything look fine. I'm literally probably just gonna replace the oil pump, and it's probably gonna be it. Let's get this oil pan off, and let's see how much mess we're gonna make here. I did drain the oil pan, but that doesn't mean too much. All right, that actually went better than what I thought it was gonna go. So that's the oily mixed oil stir out the way. Now for this pickup tube, because we can't use this with our Amazon 302-2. And this motor had 40 psi hot oil pressure. but I just want to replace this O-ring and the oil pump just to be on the safe side. And I mean, it just looks like, looks like a bottom end. 330,000 miles of GM bottom end here. So, not changing anything down here. Just going to get the windows tray cleaned up, cut, and start putting pickup tube, windows tray, and everything on. And for y'all who don't know, for this 302-2 oil pan, you need to use a Gen 4 oil filter. So you need to use an 07 to 14 Tahoe, Yukon, Escalade, whatever Silverado oil filter. Gen 4 oil filter for the 302-2 oil pan, because the Gen 3 oil filters are not big enough to screw on. So Gen 4 oil filter for your 302-2 oil pan for your Gen 3 motor. So I'm going to have fun when I go to the parts store, because I got to remember if it's for 81 Caprice, for 07 to 14 full size 5.3, 04 2002 5.3. So yeah, got to keep up with the mumbo jumbo parts list stuff, not including that I'm going to have a 96 Impala 9C1 rig in the car, and I'm gonna have an 02 Yukon drive shaft if it fits. So it's gonna be fun trying to keep all the parts separate in your head when you try to go find stuff that you need. And I guess while I'm here, let's go ahead and pull the oil pump off. Get this next out. See, oh, it just comes right off. All right, cool. I'm gonna put these bolts back so that I do not lose them, because yeah, who wants to lose bolts? Especially when I got the front cover bolts and the transmission pane bolts all sitting on the torque converter over there. So here we have the windows tray, and per the Holley instructions, basically you're going to cut off the first quarter. So from the front, basically you're going to go back and you're going to cut it off just before the fourth hole. So 1, 2, 3, 4 yanks. Just like that, cut off. So I'm gonna take my my grinder wheel and clean it up a little bit, and then off we go. I got it cleaned up. Definitely want to take some time and make sure you get all the loose metal burrs off. Try to make it smooth as possible, because the last thing you want is metal shavings in the engine. So I got a little close on that one. Just a hair close on that one. I went ahead and got the windows tray reinstalled with the front quarter missing. So now let's go ahead and get the M295 stock volume, stock pressure pump installed. I think the timing chain tension on my motor is a lot better than a lot of the other motors that I've seen. But you know, 295 US of A. And right now, there's no O-ring in it. So I mean, this should be probably the easiest part. And I do need to pre-fill the oil pump and all that stuff, so that way it's not dry. Some people say to put grease in it or something, so that it'll actually pump on startup, but I do need to pre-fill the oil pump or prime it or whatever beforehand. Just make sure that we got oil going through it, make sure we got oil pressure. I need to look up the torque specs for this. I don't know if it's listed. And I also need to torque down the windows tray bolts as well. But the green O-ring is what came out. But I just want to verify that that's the one that I need. Because with the pickup tube, the difference is if you have the pickup tube that is flat all the way around, then you use one O-ring. If you have one that's tapered, you use the other O-ring. And it comes with instructions. Straight in, you're going to use the black O-ring. If you have the tapered end, you would use the green O-ring. So the oil pump comes with 2 O-rings. I'm going to be using the black O-ring. Got a little bit of oil on there, you know, because nothing is really good dry across the board. So it's important that you are easy and careful, because you don't want to pinch the O-ring, because if you pinch it, then you're going to have some cavitation, and I could actually get 2 bolts in on this one. So I need to see if I can find another bolt. Then the mount is going to just go up right here, right onto the windows tray for support. And I need to look up the torque specs for the windows tray bolts and for the oil pump bolts.
Let me show y'all why.
Got the maiden surface all cleaned up. Got the front plate alignment bracket bolted in to the bottom. Make sure that everything is flat, so when the oil pan gets installed, it's going to make a good seal. Got the front plate cleaned up, looking like brand new, the same way we did the rear plate. I tried to get the front seal in, but as you can see, it's not all the way in. So I guess I'm supposed to put the front plate on, put this on, and then run the nut to it to get that to seal. All right, well, clearly I was not recording, and I'm not going to take to put it back on. But the front plate is on. I have the alignment bracket on, bolted up to the block and to the bottom of the oil pan, so everything will be aligned and everything will be straight. For when the oil pan bolts up, everything should still look good. So now I got my torque wrench, my 3/8 little short torque wrench set to 18 foot-pounds, or it's like 124 inch-pounds, and we're going to get these torqued in, and then we're going to get the checking on the oil pan and everything and make sure everything is good to go. So we got get my install bolt. This is the Harmonic balancer install bolt, and see if I can get this seal pushed in. I got my 1/2 inch adapter on here, so then we are just looking for to get that seal flush. just like that, and that's it. Make sure that seal is good and flush, and make sure that it is flush with the front plate, and it is. So we should be good to go here. So I'm gonna take the alignment plate off, and then we can get to going to the oil pan. And just like that, done, dusted, ready to move on. And then I'm going to use my endoscopic camera to look through the drain hole, so we can see the clearance. Now a lot of people will use like a putty and see what the squeak is. But I'm gonna use what I have. Which is a endoscopic camera. All right, y'all, we got the oil pan installed. I have my camera, my little endoscopic camera installed. You can see on my phone. This is showing what we're showing. So let's see how far this dipstick, the oil pickup tube, is from the bottom of the oil pan. You want about 3/8 of an inch. Of course, this isn't going to give a measurement, but it'll let us know if there is a gap or not, because what's been said is that the gap will be too small, it'll be too close to the bottom of the pan, and if it's too close to the bottom of the pan, it won't allow the oil to be sucked up through it, therefore starving your motor of oil. So you want to have a proper gap. You don't want the gap to be too much, because then when you turn and the oil starts sloshing, it won't pick it up from the bottom, and then you're gonna have oil starvation. So too close, I think it's cavitation. Too far up, you just won't get the oil and it'll starve. So I think this is right side up. Yep, that's right side up. So let's go in here, and first off, let's see if we can find it. And then, so right there, we're in the oil pan. So where is it at? Oh, it's right there. Oh, so as you can see, we have, stop turning. Hold on. As you can see, we have a gap. That's a pretty good gap. That might be 3/8 of an inch already. So you got to remember, when we go and we add the oil pan gasket, it's going to make the gap a little bit bigger. And I don't think that gap is too big enough where it's going to cause any issues on quartering, especially if we have 6 quarts of oil in here. That should be perfectly fine. So my biggest issue was if that gap was going to be too small, if it was going to be too close to the bottom of the pan. But that seems to be good, especially considering that that gap is going to get a little bit bigger when we put the oil pan gasket on there. So I think we are good to go here. So this little camera comes in handy. This one has a Lightning and a USB-C. So with the USB-C, you can use it on pretty much all your Android devices, tablets, and everything. And then with the Lightning cable, you can use it on your iPhone. But yeah, it has a light on it. And then you can also adjust the brightness of the light as well on here. and I got it off Amazon. If I remember, I will put a link in the description. So like, if I put it inside the spark plug hole, which I haven't done yet, let's see what the top of the pistons and everything looks like. So as you can see, it's going in the spark plug hole. And we can take a look at the cylinder walls. So we can see the cross hatching on the cylinder walls. So that's good. Go down in there. The top of the piston doesn't look that bad. We got the RTV Ultra Black. We have it in the corners, in the front, and we also have them in the corners, in the rear, bump, and bump. So let's get the oil pan installed without making a big mess. And since I got the Fail-Pro engine gasket kit, I'm using the Fail-Pro gasket. The gasket that came with the oil pan looks just like the Fail-Pro gasket, just black instead of blue. But since I bought the Fail-Pro gasket kit, I'm going to use the Fail-Pro gaskets. So let's see if we can get this on without smearing the oil from the bottom of the block. Let's see how it goes. Having another person would be primo doing this. So I'm going to try to start we're going to try to get all the bolts started. Oh, was there no hole there? When I can see the RTV like gush out, and it's kind of messing with me. Well, I can see it a little bit right there on that side. I can see a little bit on that side. I like seeing the RTV, even though I know it's not all that great to see it, because then it can go into the motor and get into the oil and all that stuff. But not seeing it kind of messes with me, because then I'm like, did I put enough? So I do have one short oil pan bolt left over, but I'm thinking it's just because for whatever reason, and y'all can let me know if y'all don't have this either, but this boss here is not drilled for a hole. So, you know, y'all let me know if y'all don't have a thread in your block, because I don't think I do. I think I looked up in there and I didn't see a hole. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think there's no hole there into the block. So, yeah. What are the what are the torque specs for those bolts? Because I don't have the slightest idea. Snug all oil pan bolts by hand. Install the two lower transmission bell housing bolts. No, do not over tighten. Tighten the oil pan in the block and oil pan front cover bolts to 18 foot-pounds. And then tighten the rear oil pan cover to 106 inch-pounds. So 18 foot-pounds for the oil pan bolts. And it says start in the center, work your way out. And then for the two rear bolts, it says 106 inch-pounds, which is basically hand tight. Not even hand tight, to be honest with you. So let me put these in, and then let me get to torquing everything down. 18 foot-pounds for the main bolts. It says start from the center and move out, and then 106 inch pounds for the ones that go up through the back. And the oil pan is all torqued down. 18 foot-pounds on the main bolts. 104 inch pounds on the rear bolts. I need to put my drain bolt back in there. I'm gonna check the pickup tube height now that the oil pan gasket is on. But yeah, we got the rear main, front main. We cut the winder stray. We got the 302-2 knockoff oil pickup tube installed. We got the correct pickup tube O-ring installed for the straight shaft, and then we got the 302-2 knockoff oil pan on, and we also got the new front seal and the new front cover gasket. So we got the bottom of the motor, front and back of the motor, all sealed up and fresh. And yeah, I think that will be it for this video. In the next video, I am going to be doing the valve stem seals. Yeah, I'll be doing the valve stem seals in the next video. And then after that, I need to go and pull the motor out the Caprice in the transmission. But when I do that, I want to go ahead and drop this motor in, at least the motor. If not the motor and transmission, go ahead and drop the motor and get it set in place before it starts getting cold. So yeah, if you got any questions, let me know. I will have links in the description. I'm going to put the link to my Amazon storefront, and that list is going to be everything that I've used and that I've bought and that I'm going to use for the LS swap, and that should pertain to the 77 to 89 Caprice Classic. So check out that list for all the items that I've bought and items that I'm going to buy. And yeah, I'll be making a video on that list of things, because people always ask what do they need to swap the LS to the Caprice. So I'm going to leave that list down there. Probably make a video going over the parts. And you can substitute the parts in my Amazon cart. Like you can substitute, you know, this Amazon knockoff 302-2 pan for a legit Holley 302-2 pan if you want to. It doesn't matter. But that list is going to give you a baseline for the parts that you need to do it on a budget. If you want to get more expensive parts, you get more expensive parts. It's not going to include, you know, cam and upgraded parts. It's just going to be the basic parts you need to swap a, you know, people say a junkyard LS into your Chevy Caprice. And all those parts can be substituted for nicer, name brand, more expensive parts if you want to. So yeah, it's getting late. I got to work in the morning. think, build, enjoy. Torque your stuff down. Be careful not to snap bolts. Make sure if it's in inch pounds that you have a wrench that does inch pounds, because if you do 104 foot pounds when it calls for 104 inch pounds, you're going to have a very bad day. So you gotta make sure you think. Build it, then enjoy it. Forgot my own slogan. Peace.